What's up, everyone? My name is Joshua, and I want to welcome you to a conversation with Joshua T Berglan. Today's broadcast is really interesting, and it's actually very insightful. Most of you don't know, but how I even got my start in entertainment and working in media or anything else, it first started with a skincare line. In other words, I had a skincare line, and what got me into skincare was a hair product that recurred my bald spot. And anyway, it's a wild story, and it sure as heck takes a really interesting direction, which is also depicted in my wife and I's book, The Devil Inside Me, which is based on my life. But yeah, believe it or not, skincare is what led me into all of this. So anyway, this is really interesting. And if you suffer with hair loss, thinning hair, alopecia, this is a really interesting broadcast for you and very insightful. But more importantly, if you, as a consumer, which we all are, this is very informative. And here's why. Because a lot of us don't know how to make educated buying choices. And I read the reviews and I look on the back of the can. Okay, you can look on the back of the can or you look on the back of the label. But do you really know what you're reading? Just because it says magnesium something doesn't mean it's really magnesium. There's a lot more going on than what people think. And at the same time, one of the things that we get into that I ask our guest Tudor is I ask him pretty point blank is, how do you make the right buying choices? Because we fall to the deception of clever marketing practices all the time. It happens with influencers. It happens with the commercials. It happens when we go to Walgreens. We get sucked into a good ad. We watch the Super Bowl commercials because we love the ads and we love the commercials. There's more going on, and we get into that a little bit. I think you're going to really enjoy this. Tudor is awesome. I think he's in Indonesia is where he actually broadcasted from, but he's from Romania. Just a really neat guy, and I think you're going to find a lot of value in this. So thank you for being here. God bless you and enjoy. Tudor, I am so excited to have you here today. But before we get started, can you tell everybody what you're grateful for today and why?
Thank you, Joshua, so much for inviting me. I'm grateful to be healthy, to be together with my wife and know my entire family is healthy and safe. We are from Romania, so very close to Ukraine. So every single day, it's a blessing. As well, I'm extremely grateful to be able to provide value with the qualities that I have with my business and the educational material that we provide.
Yeah, what you've done and what little bit I know is so cool. And I don't even really know where to start, but I want to say thoughts and prayers with, you and your family, all the people of Ukraine, even the people of Moscow. I think our governments have got us in a war and have made us like almost pick sides when I love all my Ukrainian friends. I love my Russian friends. I don't have a beef with other people, but our governments evidently do. And it sucks. I'm tired of it. Like I'm ready for
Yep.
some peace because I want to be able to travel to the Eastern Europe and really all over the world without having to worry about, people not getting along. It just sucks. So
Exactly. The
my
same.
prayer
Yes, yes, the same. We wanted to go to Russia early this year in May. It was scheduled for us to go there, but unfortunately, we couldn't make the trip. Hopefully, in next year or 2 years from now, we will be able to go.
I'm hoping much sooner than that because I want to go to. I'm ready to start traveling again, my man.
Uh,
There's so many interesting things to be able to talk to you about. But the one area that I think is interesting that I can definitely relate to you with is hair products. Meaning, when I first got into the skincare industry and working with dermatologists and plastic surgeons, I had my own skincare line. And what got me into it was a hair product that I had at the time that was unbelievable. I won't say
which
the name.
one?
I'm not going to go. I don't want to
Okay.
go.
Okay.
I don't want to give them any props. It's a long story, but come to
Okay.
find out, we took the company public, and after that, just everything went to hell in a handbasket. But that said, it was hair that got me in the industry, which was such a strange thing because I knew nothing about skincare and I knew nothing about hair. But I do know this: people are really passionate about their hair, especially when it comes to hair loss. And what most people talk about is men hair loss or a man's hair loss. And
Yep.
people say that men can pull it off. Bullcrap! I hate being bald. I've got a spot here. I, it's driving me nuts. Like I want it to grow back so bad. But the part that a lot of people don't talk about is it's not folliculitis, alopecia.
Yep.
And so
There are many types of alopecia.
do I know?
There are many types of alopecia. The one that you're referring to is androgenic alopecia, which is like accounting for 95% of all the alopecias out there. Yes. And that's mainly for men, and that's mainly hormonal from the testosterone, that free testosterone that gets converted to dihydrotestosterone with the 5 alpha reductase help.
What about for women, like women that wear weaves, that put hair extensions? Doesn't that wreak havoc on their hair that can cause alopecia as well?
So androgenic alopecia is strictly tied to dihydrotestosterone. Women, because they don't have a very high, they have some testosterone, but they don't have a very high testosterone, free testosterone count. For that reason, it's not much of that free testosterone that gets converted to dihydrotestosterone. So that's why men have hair loss and women have hair thinning, because women most likely they have telogen effluvium, which is another type of alopecia, and that's basically after they're giving birth or during pregnancy at the same time. So mainly on women is because of stress, is because of nutrition, or maybe some genes, but most likely women don't have hair loss, they have hair thinning.
Huh. So what made you even get in the it's you're solely in the hair industry. I know that you're teaching people I mean, like you've absolutely killed it and you're so successful in the e-commerce world, but you started
That's
in the hair industry, correct?
No, so initially we started with women's skincare products. We have a skincare brand. After that, we have two supplements brand. One for magnesium, one is for beef organs for carnivore diets. And after that, now we have the beard styling. I have a brand for beard styling. And now we started with the hair loss. And the story with the hair loss is extremely interesting because when I was 18, I will send you photos after this. When I was 18, I had no beard. So I started to apply minoxidil over my beard. I read on a website in Romania that minoxidil is the only FDA approved drug that's going to grow my beard. So I started to order and apply it. I always had the same problem with minoxidil because the recipe was so basic and invented 20 years ago. Basically, the same, those big brands are still using that recipe. So I've been using minoxidil over my beard. I always got the side effects, irritation, dandruff, or itchiness, but I still went with it. After like 3 years, I've got a nice beard, a nice looking beard. And after that, I start to lose hair. I was 22, 23, something around that age. I start to lose hair and I started to develop the androgenic alopecia. And then I start to use minoxidil over my scalp. But because of the side effects, I didn't have the desired results, because if your body doesn't react well to a recipe or to a product, it's not going to have the same results as the body would react great to that product. And that put me on a mission in order to innovate the market with the recipes. Because truth being told is that all these big brands, Kirkland, Rogaine, they invented the recipe 20 years ago and they didn't innovate or change the recipe ever since. And then what I've did is taken all these recipes and create a superior one that's going to reduce the side effect the skin related side effects by 95%.
Interesting. I ran into that too. We had one of the reasons why I didn't really want to name the name of the company is because what they were selling was the adipose derived stem cell media and saying that that was regrowing the hair. But
Mm.
actually, what they were doing was they were putting illegally, without telling people, the minoxidil. They were putting that in there.
Yeah, so
But
So that's
so
one thing that I try to do with my programs, educational material, and in my Instagram, the hair loss dude. I try to tell people that hair loss and beard growth is not extremely complicated, but you still need to understand it. You need to invest in your education. If you want to repair a car, you cannot repair that car if you don't know what's broken. So in the hair loss, you need to do some research. It's around 2 to 3 hours maximum in order for you to understand what products to buy and what products not to buy. Because truth being told, are just a few products that actually work for hair loss, and the vast majority of other products are simply just fake marketing, fake advertising that's promoting you peptides, treptides, deptides, they are paying a lot of money to the doctors. They pay a lot of money to the testing labs in order just to promote that and to create like the product to say that it's causing you hair growth, which is basically not.
That is, oh my gosh, I'm so happy you said this. When I got into skincare, I knew nothing about it. Like I showed up, I just knew this product worked. I was so confident. I bought distribution rights to it and because I believed in it. But the way I sold was daring people to try it. That said, after I left that and started working in contract manufacturing for custom formulation, white labeling, things like that with skincare and cosmetics, what I learned was that the very same product, this is not always, I want to make that clear. It's not every one, but a lot of times the same product that you could see for $200, $300 inside your doctor's office, you could go to Walgreens and see in a different package that
Yep.
is selling for 20. And it's the same formula. Now, but at the same time, there's more to it than that. The consumer is consumer, it's very hard for a consumer to be educated if they don't know the right questions to ask, because just looking at a label doesn't tell you anything because it doesn't tell you the quality. And there's so many other things that factor in where an ingredient sourced from. All these things matter. Can you tell the public that buys skincare, that buys cosmetic, that even buys supplements, hair products, what are the right questions to ask a professional when they are trying to make an educated buying decision?
So the right question is, first of all, as I mentioned, you need to invest in your education. Second of all, you need to understand exactly what products, how they work. And reading the label is good because you know what products are in there. But if you read the shampoo labels, I'm pretty sure that 95% of those ingredients, you will have absolutely no idea what they mean. And after that, one thing that they don't tell you on the recipe is the percentages of each of these ingredients, because they can tell you, hey, we add niacinamide or caffeine, but they add 0.001%, which is basically absolutely useless. And after that, they don't tell you their manufacturing process, which here is where we cracked the code for the minoxidil recipes. Because when you manufacture a recipe, it matters from where you order the raw materials, how you vet the suppliers for that, what's the storage capacity, how's the manufacturing process, the boiling process, the storaging after that, how many times you boil it, what temperatures. So the overall manufacturing process is extremely complex and extremely complicated for a recipe. For us, for example, I've tested over 40 different recipes with our factory, 40 different recipes, and we updated every single step of the manufacturing process in order to ensure that the product overall is going to have the best use and the best metabolization over the scalp.
Yeah, I love the fact that, and actually the next question I'm going to ask you will happen after this. But one of the other things that you talked about was you mentioned marketing. One of the things that I realized when I got into the industry is a lot of companies are forced with the decision: research and development or marketing, because there's only so much money to go around for a lot of these companies. And I came across more little boutique, small batch skincare companies and products that were far superior in quality to the Pfizers of the world that make TNS. Skin Medica is a skincare line, for
Yep.
instance. And
It's the same as food, right?
yeah, exactly. It's the same
Listen,
exact thing. So
I'm
why
pretty
use
sure
all
that
these
McDonald's
chemicals?
doesn't have the best burger, right?
Say again?
I'm pretty sure McDonald's doesn't have the best burgers. You can find better burgers on down the street for sure. So that's the thing. That's the thing that we try to innovate with our recipes, because we are a small company. So we need, in order for us to be able to fight with these Goliaths, which is the Kirkland, the Rogaine, these huge brands that are being bought by P&G and Unilever, or Costco in the Kirkland case, we need to come up with a recipe that's truly superior. Because once you use minoxidil once and your hair grows back, you basically have to use it for the rest of your life on the scalp, right? over the beard, you can use it until it grows thicker, longer, but after that, you can stop it. But for scalp, you need to use it for your entire life. So in order for, we have two types of audience, the people that never use minoxidil, which will not be able to compare it with Kirkland because they never use Kirkland, and people that use Kirkland and Rogaine before, and they are using our recipe. So for us to be able to take those people that use Kirkland and Rogaine and all these big brands before, we needed to have such a better recipe that when they apply it at the first second, they said, okay, this is a huge improvement. So that's our, and if you have like a fantastic recipe that's doing results and fantastic programs, people are going to speak about it. We have a lot of people speaking up. So we do little to no marketing to our product and to our programs. And we have a lot of customers that are just telling their friends, because when you go out, you see your friend, his hair is back after 2 months. And, hey, what did you do? What's happening to your hair? You used to be bald. Hey, exactly. I'm following these programs. So
I have to try the product. Are you doing affiliate programs too?
we're gonna do early next year. For now, because China was closed in Guangzhou with the COVID zero policies that they had, we couldn't ship out all of our productions, and for that reason, we are kind of low on stock. But next year, when we're gonna have the new recipe, then we're gonna do the affiliate programs as well, and we are going to set up an affiliate program that's unique in the industry, meaning we're gonna offer a percentage of the first purchase and percentage of recurring revenue. And minoxidil, as I mentioned, you have to do it for a very long period of time in order to keep your scalp hair. For that specific reason, if you're an affiliate and someone is ordering our product, like it is going to order again and again, you're going to have a lot of recurring revenue, which is extremely valuable for affiliates.
Yeah, I can't. I have to try this product because I mean, will it get rid of that spot? Will it help?
You just send me photo with that, and it
Okay.
depends because I will send you my course as well. So the thing with the follicles goes like this: when your hair shafts, your hair follicle is going to the catagen stage, the dead stage, it becomes like it appears the follicle miniaturization, meaning your follicle is decreasing and decreasing and decreasing in size until that follicle gets calcified. So the problem is like this: you have the DHT, which is dihydrotestosterone, which it places beneath your scalp, and that blocks the capillaries, the little veins beneath your scalp, to push the blood to the hair follicle. If you don't act when you see you have androgenic alopecia, if you don't act and you let that spot to stay into the androgenic alopecia, into the catagen stage for a very long period of time, what you're actually doing, you're reducing the blood flow to that hair follicle for a very long period of time. And in time, your hair follicle is going to get calcified and you cannot get that back. So at that point, you have to do some kind of hair transplant. But it depends. It depends like when that pot appeared, for how long it has been there. And at the same time, what I truly want to do with my programs and the product, I don't want to lie to people, because you see a lot of people, hey, take my product, it's going to be the absolute best.
Yeah,
What
yeah,
I
yeah.
teach in my courses and when I teach on Instagram, I said, when you decide to do minoxidil is a first line treatment for hair loss. When you decide to do minoxidil, don't order my product 6 bottles and that's it. Order 1 bottle Kirkland, 1 bottle Rogaine, 1 bottle for my brand, and 1 bottle from Vichy or Head and Shoulders, whatever brand you want. Choose 4 brands, order 1 bottle, and test every single brand for a week over your scalp and see which one your body loves the most. Because maybe you're going to like more Kirkland or Rogaine. Maybe you're going to like that. And that's what I always say to the customers.
Well, that's the cool thing about the e-commerce business. I it, I believe that it forces people to be a little bit more honest, because people can leave reviews, and with online, the internet's forever. So there is something neat about that, where at least in my opinion, that e-commerce brands should be held accountable, but they are, in the sense that I believe that they give better customer service. I never thought I would say that, but I have better customer service working with Amazon than I do a brick and mortar store down the street. I don't know how
Yep.
that happened, but it just happened. So anyone online that's selling products like this, like you are, I think it's awesome that you have that integrity where you're saying, look, go try other things and make an educated decision and make the
So
right decision for yourself. That to me is awesome.
yeah. So for me, I don't. Have you seen the scandal with the controversy with the Liver King, where he confessed
Yeah.
that he's using? So I don't want that. I want to be the hair loss dude that everybody, when you wake up in the morning and you see some hair shafts over your pillow, or you go to shower and you see hair in there, immediately you're gonna think about me. And the reason you're gonna think about me is because I'm speaking the truth. I'm not. I'm here to say that as a man, 95% of androgenic alopecias, you can treat them. You can use different medications, different treatments, different devices in order to improve your hair growth and basically stop the hair loss. But at the same time, I'm not here to lie. So if a person comes to me and says, for example, I have this bald spot, what should I do? I ask you, what's your age? How long ago that bald spot came? And if I believe that those follicles are calcified, I'm not going to tell you, hey, just use my product. It's going to grow everything back. It's not going to be the case. So I think like honesty is extremely important, especially that I've seen so many companies, so many big companies that are building their overall products and overall services based on not true facts. And I don't
Yes.
want to do that.
I appreciate that so much. And for all the crazy in the world, one thing that I feel very, very good about is that truth is going to win out across the board, not just in,
Exactly.
what's really happening in the world, but really even with our products. Like my wife right now is dealing, she had to have multiple surgeries and got all these fibroids that may be cancerous. And come to find out, it's from a product from one of the major brands that every single woman on the planet, I think, uses, which is Secret deodorant and dry shampoo. And I know this is not hair, like it's not hair growth product, but these brands, these major corporations that can sell an inferior product, but then spend billions on first class, world class, not only marketing, but also studies that will help persuade the user to buy. Like there's so much research and development that goes into just how to manipulate you. It's insane.
Yep.
These large companies just put together, they skim on the quality to make more money because they have stockholders to answer
Of
to.
course.
So they give these crazy products that are causing people to get really sick. My wife, like, they could have killed my wife. They could have killed a lot of different people with some of these ingredients that they put in products. So to
Yeah.
have
That's
this is awesome. Like I love this. And I love the fact that you're taking a stand for honesty and also not only that, but educating the consumer on how to buy. Like that's awesome.
Of course, that's the most important part because even for myself, I always say if you see any kind of hair loss, or if you want to grow a beard as a man, right? You don't have any beard, you want to grow a beard. First thing you should do is invest in education before you click purchase on any product. It shouldn't on a Saturday evening, instead of watching Netflix or some series that you're not going to learn much, just put yourself a reminder of Saturday, just learn about hair loss. You can go to my YouTube channel, you can go to my Instagram, you can go to other YouTube channels and just learn what medication work, what devices work, what's hair loss, what's the androgenic alopecia, how many alopecias out there, what are the hair loss scales, what are the natural remedies that you can use. So there are so many things, but in like 3 to 4 hours maximum of doing your research, you could get rid of the failed treatments. You're not going to get scammed by any other medical doctors that are going to sell you $200 worth of whatever product. You don't have to go to hair loss clinics and pay hundreds of dollars for a visit. You can postpone hair transplant. And here's the very, very interesting part about hair loss, which is extremely important. This is why I always tell education is number one, because hair loss is, as I mentioned to you, with minimization process. So I have the 50% rule, which is this. This is your hair shaft in each initial length and strength, right? Which is long, thick, dark, long, and filled with keratin. Through the minimization process, is if it's going to drop below 50% of its in original length and strength, that hair shaft is going to eventually die, and you cannot save it with any kind of medication. So if you don't invest into your education, you're buying all these failed treatments, you're going to waste months of your hair, and your hair is going to get miniaturized, and then no product is going to work. So that's why you have to invest few hours in on a Saturday, Friday, and order the products on Monday, get them on Wednesday, and you can start the treatment knowing exactly what's working and what's not working.
I love it, man. I just, I wish there was more people like you, especially in that industry. And look, I know there's some good people in the industry. I met some amazing, amazing people. But I've also gotten to see some of the ugly side of it. And so to meet somebody like yourself that has integrity and is leading the way with education, because we should know. I mean, the fact is this: we've gotten the masses have gotten intellectually lazy, and we just assume that everything is offered to us is okay for us. We just assume that it's going to be
Exactly.
healthy because it says diet or no sugar or, whatever it is that they're using. It's sad to me, but at the same time, I do believe that people are getting educated and starting to realize that, you know what, I need to
Exactly.
know what's actually right for my body and before moving.
Absolutely.
So I love this.
100%. And I always say, I said, if I were to give you $2,000 and promise you, you're not, or not promise you $2,000, and you will still keep your hair, and you have to invest 3 hours, would you do it?
Yeah.
And everybody's yes, exactly. And the $2,000 is the failed treatment. The $2,000 is the failed treatments, which you're going to spend money on the hair loss clinics, failed treatments, tasting different other products. That's the money. And at the same time, the hair loss with the miniaturization process that I just explained.
I love it. Tudor, please let everyone know how they can find you, how they can support you, where they can learn from you. Cause I mean, there's so much
Yep.
more. I'd actually like to have you back on to talk more
Yep.
about
Anytime.
on the e-commerce side. But that
And
you
business
have
as well.
a ton of knowledge that we don't have time to get into, but I would love
For
to have you
sure.
back. But please let everyone know how they can follow you and come check out your stuff.
Absolutely. So on Instagram, I'm the hair loss dude. You go there, follow me, just information about hair loss and beard growth. On YouTube, the channel is called Follicle Booster. In there, we post weekly videos free to check for hair loss, beard growth. And as well, our company is folliclebooster.com. You can check our products there. We are going to put our new minoxidil recipe in around 2 weeks.
Very cool. Well, look, I know you talked a lot about men, this being more of a man problem, but I got to tell you, man, I remember when I had my product, and even what I see now and the women I talk to, just at the gym and just around. I mean, I hear a lot of women talking about thinning hair, and they're really struggling there. So your product is good for women,
Yes.
right?
Our product is good for women. For women, I recommend even you. So minoxidil comes in different concentrations.
Okay.
In the course, I explain exactly what women should do, and on my Instagram as well. But in short, women should use micro needling devices that have shorter needles than men, because their scalp is thinner than men. And at the same time, they should use minoxidil 2% concentration, because their scalp is more sensitive. Or if you use the 5%, use it only once a day. Men have to use it twice a day. As a woman, use it once a day.
Okay. So you said microneedling. Are you talking about like 0.5, or are you a little bit longer, or 0.25?
No, use 1 millimeter length up to 1.5 if you can take it. But as a man, you can use two
That's not
millimeters.
small needle for that
Yes.
can
So
hurt. That's
yes, I
painful.
know, but you don't apply when you do the microneedling, you don't
Yeah.
apply pressure. And at the same time, you should start with 0.5 and then go to 1 and 1.5 if you can take it. The reason for that is because the bulge area of the follicle is 1.5 millimeter beneath your scalp. And the only reason why you would use a derma roller, you want to stimulate that bulge area to increase the stem cell count, to increase the collagen production, and to increase the healing process to the growth process through healing.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Tudor, God bless you, man. Thank you for being here. Thank you
Thank
for
you so
your
much, my
time.
friend.
And I'll
Thank
look
you so
forward to
much.
talking to you again.
Thank you so much, Joshua.
Bye.
Thank you so much, Joshua. Bye.